So I haven't made a video in a very long time, and I'm not really sure what to do for videos, so if you are watching this, let me know what you would like to see from a crochet small business channel. I also do artwork and like polymer clay, a little bit of all the different crafts. But for this week, I'm going to show you guys this bin full of items that I crocheted during 1 week. So I'm going to pull this to the side and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys pretty much like one at a time, but also kind of keep them in the group. Alright, so first up, we've got some little mini loaf cats. I didn't really get this pattern from everybody, or from anybody, I just freehanded it, but it is based on the original loaf cats, and I'll try to find who the pattern is by, and I'll put it on the screen somewhere. And I'll try to put, like, the names of everybody who has, like, patterns and stuff on the screen. But these guys are super cute. They're really squishy. And the little loaf shape is super cute, and then I also add the little butts. So we've got a couple different colors. We've got two of this little like beige gray or tan. We've got two light gray. And I did use some of the little like kawaii eyes on some of these guys. We've got two dark grays. And then we've got two little black cats, and I did use the little colored iris? Yes, colored iris eyes on these guys and little white butts. That way it's a little bit easier to see what they've got going on. And lastly, for the cats, we've got two little orange cats. Now these guys go in my little bit bin, so they are the cheapest things I sell, which is why I didn't do any color changing or anything on them. But when I do the slightly bigger loaf cats, I do typically do like some color changing, or I'll make the little paws a different color or a little face a different color than the body and stuff like that. So there we go, we've got those 10 cats. Okay, I think we're gonna run out of room pretty quick here, but next up, I had a little bit of extra black yarn after making the cats, so I just made this little chicken. Again, I just freehand these guys, but they are based on the Mabel chicken, I think is what it's called. And we'll put that guy back there. Next up, I made one of these guys. This is my own pattern. I'm not really sure what to call them yet. I'm still experimenting with like what I want them to look like, but it's supposed to be just little kind of foresty creatures or monsters. It's still a little wonky, so I'm still testing it out and seeing what I want to do with them. But I did use Feels Like Bliss. And it's super cute, it's super fuzzy yarn. So there's that little guy. Alright, next up, I made some little stress pets. These guys are from Not Jaded Co., I believe. And I made, I think, 12 of these guys in these two colors. And it's variegated Bernat blanket. So I'm just gonna sit these guys up. And I really like these little guys. They don't always do super well at markets, actually, which is super sad because I think they're adorable. But I just love that you can, like, squish it with your whole hand or, like, squish their tummy. And I think the little, like, nubs that she made for the little arms and legs and ears is so cute. But I kind of just make it because I enjoy making it, not necessarily because they are a bestseller or anything, unfortunately. Alright, and then next up, again, this was originally what I did with the chickens, so I made a couple chickens in this little, like, tan color. And again, these guys are just me freehanding it, but it is based on the Mabel chicken shape. So I made a few of these guys. And I think I just made the 5. This one's my favorite because it turned out way, like, I think I just stuffed it more, but look at how much chonkier. And it does mean it's a little less squishy, but that's okay. Somebody will love how chunky it is. And then next up, we did make some little Kirby's. Again, I just freehand these guys. It's pretty much just like a little ball shape that I add bobble stitches to make the limbs. And then I just embroider the eyes on and the face and everything. But I made 6 of these guys. There we go. Perfect. And because I do embroider the faces on, like, as a lot of other crocheters or crafters and artists know, everybody is a little bit different, so it's all one-of-a-kind items. And then, okay, so I tried to make a little bear. I'm gonna preface this for you guys. I tried to make a little bear, but I used Premiere Basics. I think Chenille Basics or something like that, and it just looks a little funky. He's not ugly or anything. He's still cute, but like, it wasn't really what I had in mind. I think he almost looks like, I don't know, like a little koala or something, but he's brown. But he's one of a kind for sure, because I'm not doing that again. And then I switched back over to Parfait Chunky to make what these guys turned out to be, and this is a lot more of like what I had in mind for the little bears I wanted to make. I didn't order any brown Parfait Chunky in my order last time, so I used this red, and I think it's okay. Kind of makes you think of like Lotso Bear, but I'm not bothered by that. And I made 5 of these guys, it looks like. Okay, perfect. All right, so next up, I do, so a lot of these guys you'll notice are around the same size. I do a little bit spin for my shows and for a lot of my consignment spaces because they sell really well because it's a much lower price point. And I do want to try and make it as accessible as I can for people, you know, while also trying to make sure I can pay my bills. So that's why I experiment a lot with making like the little ball-shaped creatures. And then, so next up I made this little like bunny. Again, this is just me freehanding, but I know there's a lot of like free little bunny ball crochet patterns on Instagram, so feel free to look up like crochet bunny tutorial or something like that, and you should probably get something pretty close. We're gonna put those guys over there. And I made them in purple because I thought it was really cute, kind of like the little desaturated lavender color, and I made 5 of those guys as well. Okay, and then next up, and I think these are the last little bits I have. I call them little alien balls, but it's just like the little ball pattern again with little antennas and then a little face. And I made 5 of these guys as well. Again, they all end up being a little bit different, but nonetheless, they are all chunky, derpy, and cute. And I do kind of have to straighten out the antennas because they're just chains, and so they tend to curl in a little bit. And making these guys is how, this guy has fuzz. Making these guys is how I thought about making the bunnies, because I was like, oh my god, it looks like a bunny, I just need a tail. So again, when you're experimenting, I feel like it's the best way because you can kind of see how to make like different creatures and shapes as you go. So next up, we've got 2 more types of items, you guys. Okay, so I made some strawberries. The strawberries are usually do really well, especially if I put them on keychains. And then I'll try to find, I think the strawberry pattern was literally just a free pattern I found on YouTube like years ago when I started crocheting, and I really liked the shape, so I just kept doing it. But I will try my best to see if I can find who the pattern is by. And again, I'll put it on the screen. And so the difference in these guys is, I think I made 8? Yes, 9 maybe? Because I did run out of the red yarn. But I do put faces on some of these guys, and the little strawberries with faces sell really, really well in my little bits bin. And then the ones without the faces sell really well as keychains. So just something to keep in mind if you also do shows or conventions and want to sell some of your crochet. People really like when things have faces or like they have expressions or smiles. Let's see, so 3, 6, and then we've got 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so 9 strawberries, and then you can kind of tell because I lost Yarn Chicken. I have the top, and I had almost all of the strawberry. It was so sad, I was so close. but that's okay. We'll get some more yarn in the future and I'll finish that one up and make some more. And then last but definitely not least, honestly, probably my favorite make of this week is this, I believe it's Cooper the Cow by Loops and Knots Crochet. And if you've seen me at a show, you've heard me say her name a million times. She is such a sweet and wonderful YouTuber. She has a ton of free tutorials on YouTube. She sells her patterns. She does like market prep. She's amazing. But let me show you guys. Look at this adorable Cooper the Cow pattern that she's made. And she has a video for this, like, for free on her YouTube. It's a little splooted cow, and, like, how freaking cute is this? And she does such a good job at explaining, like, how to make the pattern. She walks you through it with her. And then, you know, like, this is honestly how I learned to do a lot of stuff. Like, you watch free YouTube tutorials, and then you get an idea of like what kind of stitches and increase or decrease gives you certain shapes, and you go from there. You start designing your own stuff. Look at their little tails, are so cute. And I love this color combo. This color combo is probably my favorite. It's a little chocolate cow. And I did make 3 of these guys because I made the first one, and I made the first one just the black and white cow, and I got so addicted to it. And it was a really quick make. I think it only took me about an hour and a half, maybe. Well, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. So it's hard because I made the first one and I never time myself the first time I make something, because it's not really fair to like the pattern writers and stuff, because the first time you make something, you usually are going a lot slower, or at least in my case I do. So I'd never want to like judge it based on that. But then when I liked it so much that when I made the other 2, as you can tell, I just pulled out the colors and I switched where I was putting the colors, and I made all the pieces at the same time, and then I went back through and made the body, because the body is one piece and then you sew on the legs and ears. So I don't know exactly how long it took me. I will make another one and time it so that before I take these guys to my next market or show, I know what to price them at. But right now I was just having a lot of fun, and I was so obsessed. Like, oh my god, look at these guys. And I love that they're just like splooting. I am so inspired by this design. I want to use her as inspiration to make like my own version of some different creatures or animals. But yeah, here's the belly. Okay, and then anyway, that is everything we made for 1 week. As you can tell, I do try my best to make about 5 to 10 items per day during the week, but obviously there's a lot of, I do run my own small business by myself, so there's a lot of admin work, there's a lot of emails and social media stuff to try to keep track of. But this is my full-time job, so if you do not crochet this much in a week, do not feel any kind of way about it. That is totally fine. Even if you are trying to build up to a business, you do not have to make this much stuff. It's just the way that I work, and it helps me a lot with de-stressing and anxiety, so I crochet a lot of my time. But other than that, that is it. Again, you guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know a lot of you guys ask me if I have a YouTube or anything while I'm at the shows, so I will try my best to start uploading some different videos, but let me know what you guys want to see. I'm not really sure how to do tutorials. I know a lot of you guys ask about that, but if you really want to learn and if you really want to try crochet out, I really recommend Loops and Knots Crochet and Club Crochet. Those 2 channels helped me learn so much when I was first starting to crochet, and I recommend them every time. Other than that, thank you again for spending your time with me, and I will see you guys at the next show, or next video. Bye!